Göttingen is a city known for its rich mathematical history. It has seen the birth of many revolutionary ideas that changed the way people do mathematics all over the world. One can see some reminders of this heritage when walking in its streets or around the new faculty buildings. In fact, it was so important at some point in history that some concepts that have become now fundamental in modern science were essentially discovered and developed in the very same city by the successive generations of the community of mathematicians. One of the most notable of this idea may be the notion of curvature and of what we call non-Euclidean geometry. Carl Friedrich Gauss was among the first to establish significant results regarding this idea. Back then, geometers only studied Euclidean geometry, that is, the geometry of the plane, the one that is still taught in high school, where the sum of the angles of any triangle equals 180 degrees, and two parallel lines shall never meet. But Gauss, like many others before him, wanted to study curved surfaces, like that of the Earth or of a hilly landscape, for example, not just flat surfaces. Now, on a curved surface, the straight lines are given by the paths that give the shortest distance between each of its points. They are called the geodesics of the surface. On a cylinder, for example, those are given by the circular helices going around the cylinder in circles. On a sphere, they are given by the equatorial paths, the circles in the sphere whose center is that of the sphere. With this in mind, there is no reason for the sum of the angles of a triangle on a curved surface to equal 180 degrees. On this sphere, for example, this triangle has three right angles, meaning that the sum of the angles is actually 270 degrees. That is because the surface is curved. What is now called Gaussian curvature is a number associated to the geometry of the surface that is positive if that sum is superior to 180 degrees, and it is negative if it is inferior. One can only imagine how difficult it must have been to work on this kind of spaces, when for 2000 years the preceding mathematicians were only working on the flat plane. Gauss was the first to establish several important theorems on these more general surfaces. He did this during his works around the 1820s. We cannot here go into the details of their meaning or their proof. They relate the curvature of a surface with more intrinsic properties of its shape. They were extremely influential in the following development of geometry, and in some way they still find echoes in today's research. But another, perhaps even more important revolution came with the work of his student, Bernhard Riemann, in 1953. The work of Riemann is a good example of the idea of abstraction in mathematics. He took the ideas and the work of Gauss and found a way to generalize them to an arbitrary dimension, even higher than 3, and he managed to compute the curvature of these spaces. Now, thanks to Riemann, we know that a line is not just a line, and a surface is not just a surface. A line is precisely a one-dimensional space, and a surface is precisely a two-dimensional space. Riemann managed to make all these definitions rigorous and to make computation with it. This had huge conceptual implications. Now, people could do geometry in 4, 5, 6 dimensions and with a curved space. They could imagine the movement of bodies living on such spaces. They could do geometry without having the possibility of drawing anything. Obviously, it is very hard for us to represent a curved three-dimensional space, or even a flat four-dimensional space. A three-dimensional representation of these can only be flawed, but there is something even weirder. In 1882, following the conceptual approach of Riemann, the professor at the University of Göttingen, Felix Klein, described for the first time what is now called the Klein bottle. This is a two-dimensional shape that cannot be represented in three-dimensional space. This is a surface that one cannot draw. This is why all these representations we see of the Klein bottle have this weird self-intersection. These are not the real Klein bottle. The real Klein bottle can only be built in an abstract way or drawn in the fourth dimension. The work of these mathematicians is now at the foundation of the modern theories of geometry. Every math student will at some point hear about, if not study, the ideas of Gauss, Riemann and Klein. But obviously, the story does not end there. The city of Göttingen remained a very active mathematical center during the whole 20th century, and it still is to this day. Its mathematicians are continuing the legacy and pushing further away the limits of our knowledge on shapes and spaces.